Hello, dear friends. Chronophobia is the irrational fear of time or the passage of time. This anxiety can arise from uncertainty about what the future will hold, such as unexpected changes, challenges, or unknown situations. Opinion piece. Fear of future. Chronophobia. Change is scary, but it is unavoidable. The Great Awakening. Information madness. Decentralized power. 0 point technology. Let's start. As Pluto advances through Aquarius, dark forces become increasingly immersed in fear. They fear what the future holds for them, which is coming fast. That's why they study and analyze it to better predict the future, because it scares them and they can see it coming, according to the Ascension Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, presented by Cobra. They fear the unavoidable gap that will exist between people within a technology-based social order. No, not our current technology, nor our current social order, but those that are manifesting now. A dangerous combination for statists, especially in a change of era towards Aquarius. They fear what they know is coming and what they cannot avoid. Change of era. The Great Awakening sweeping humanity is driven, in large part, by the change of era and the introduction of new energies into Earth's noosphere from the center of our galaxy. Analysts recognize this and see the unavoidable progress coming toward the control structure they serve. What really scares these dark ones is what is coming, namely the launch of 0 point technology to the public sector, or rather the filtration from the corporations that have already been successful with this technology to the general population. Power will spread in a greatly decentralized way as 0 point technology is transferred to the population. Cleaning. The cleanup of Indian and African dark networks is advancing at full speed. All their bases throughout the solar system were cleared a few days ago, and when the Aldebarans were removing their last ships in low Earth orbit, this caught the attention of the surface movements of the Indian and African networks. Only about 50,000 members remained in the tunnels beneath the temples in India, and about 70,000 members remain in the tunnels beneath sub-Saharan Africa. These are also expected to be removed within a few weeks. The main problem, apart from the surface network, is a remnant of the descent complex that escaped the cleanup process between 2018 and 2020 and has remained dormant until now. Activation. On February 8th, this dissident complex was activated to prevent the resistance movement from beginning surface operations. The first thing they did was activate a part of the physical biochips that escaped the detection of the forces of light and that were inactive until now. This part of the biochips is a backup processor that can send audio and video signals from brain synapses through a cell tower network to the main processing center, which sources say is located in an underground facility near the border of Guinea and Sierra Leone. Although this biochip activity is weak, it represents an additional layer of control over the surface population and moderately disrupts the resistance plans for surface operations. The forces of light will use their technologies to disable that part of the physical biochips relatively soon. The dissident complex currently has about 18 million members, mainly reptiles and drake, with humanoid bodies on the physical plane, spread across bases in the solar system, mainly in the Kuiper belt, and, and with small bases even on Mars. These bases are connected to a network of jump rooms. All of this will also be resolved relatively soon. Africa. On the physical level, the main stronghold of the Descendant complex is a network of underground tunnels in West Africa, especially in southern Senegal, in Gambia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and in the western Nigeria. This network consists of around 100,000 reptiles and drakes in humanoid bodies. Some of them emerge to the surface and then infiltrate Europe through southern Italy, posing as immigrants. Another smaller stronghold lies in a network of tunnels beneath Colombia and northwest Brazil, with around 15,000 reptiles and drakes with humanoid bodies. Some of them emerge to the surface and are then trafficked as migrants through the Darien Gap. Both underground physical fortresses of the Breakaway complex are connected to solar system bases with jump rooms, constantly replenishing the supply of drakes and reptiles in both locations. The complex stronghold in West Africa is also connected to the network of secret biolaboratories in Africa. Guinea and Guinea-Bissau are the current center of a reptilian duck vortex portal that suppresses the energy of the goddess. This leads to the horrible living conditions of women in that area. The entire area of West Africa, which is now the location of the underground dissident complex, was participating in the transatlantic slave trade for centuries, and that led to horrible energy conditions in that region. Opinions. Information madness. The journalistic profession suffers from serious mental health problems. 75% of information professionals recognize that it is a serious problem in the sector. Various studies show that high precariousness, long hours, and work stress would be the main reasons. Journalism is the profession with the highest alcoholism and divorce rate. Kerry Cassidy believes that white hats believe they need to hide reality from the masses, and in this way, they are doing a disservice to humankind. Keeping people in the dark is dangerous for our future. People can handle the truth and they need to know it. William Tompkins is one of the most important witnesses to reveal details about the secret space program and interactions with visitors. He details German alliances with the reptilians and rakes the infiltration of NASA by these beings, as well as the positive contribution of the North to the secret space program for decades, since at least the 1920s and perhaps earlier. Sananda through James McConnell. Prepare for the future by being in the now. Change is upon you, and as that change approaches, the most important thing to prepare for it is to live in the moment now, not being in the past, not clinging to the past, to the old past programming of the three-dimensional illusion, and not just focus on the future of what's coming, because whatever comes will be here. Being in the present moment prepares you for whatever comes. Yeshua through Pamela Cripe. Spiritual life is really very simple. It's about being intimate and honest with yourself. Spirituality begins with the acceptance of who you are. If you are if you have negative thoughts, difficult emotions, so be it. You think that to live from the heart you have to rise above these dark things. But spiritual growth does not come by way of ancestry. Spiritual people are also very humble people. They don't have a high opinion of themselves, in the sense that they feel they have transcended the darkness, but they do feel comfortable with their darkness. They don't reject it. And this is when the miracle happens, when you can look at your own pain without fear and with the eye of compassion. When you look behind your negative behavior or habits, what you see is a scared child inside you. It takes strength and an open heart to face that child. However, the essence of Christ's energy is recognizing the face of an innocent child behind all negative, disruptive behavior. And the challenge is to first see one's own innocence. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.